Greetings, everyone. Email and Coffee. Joy Brooks here. Another Friday. It's raining outside in New York. And what better rainy day than to have a great conversation with my guest, Tanel Rand. And take it away, Tanel. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm from Estonia. It's huge amount of water between us. And
Yes.
the time difference is actually 7 hours. So it's 8 o'clock p.m. here. I've been in the field of marketing started 96. Been marketing director, been sales director, etc., etc. And now, let's say the last 12 years digging into the email marketing. So
And that's where we have something in common.
Yeah. So, and this is probably in the nutshell, what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have to just do this right now. So all those ribbons, what are they for? And all those awards behind you, what are they for?
Yeah, probably. When you sent me about what we're gonna talk,
yes,
then
one of the items was.
Yeah, the one thing was that I'm this, let's say, called crazy cat people. I have 9 Norwegian forest cats.
And those are big white cats.
They are white and brown and
okay, but
colors.
they're big. They're big.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there goes one right behind you.
Yeah, there was one.
Okay.
So, and all those prices actually there.
Wow,
and,
good for you.
And
up the stairs. Wow.
They're the prices from cat shows. And actually, one from kitten from my last litter is gonna land in New York after 40 minutes.
Really? Somebody purchased it?
Yeah.
Ooh, we'll talk about that later.
Of course.
Ooh. So back to email. I just had to get the elephant out of the room because everybody's going, "Ooh, did he get all those medals of email marketing?" No. So,
Nope.
So let's get back to the medals of email marketing. Some of the things that we do every single day, day in and day out. They're like they're like the buzzwords. Oh, we need an email marketer to do segmentation and personalization. So, these things become like, it's almost like we grit our teeth. It's like, can you do segmentation and personalization? Of course I could do that. What would email marketing be? What do you think? I just send a letter to somebody that says, "Hi, how are you? Buy my stuff. Goodbye." I mean,
but actually, it's funny thing that I have been asked, like, can you tell the trends last 5 years already? That what will be the trend to the next year and next year and next year, and every time you're looking all the trends, and then you're coming up that, all right, probably the next trend or the last trend was, or the trend from 3 years ago, it's the personalization and segmentation.
Exactly. I love that question when people do the 2000 at the end of the year, people contact you, all the different magazines contact you.
Exactly.
And they're like, "Oh, could you give us the trends?" I'm like, "Oh, for goodness sake. It's the same as last year. Just work harder and do it well." So the thing is, I've talked a lot about segmentation and personalization. And within that comes dynamic content, because they're all related. Like, and the one thing that is really the kingpin is your data. So
yeah,
yes, you could do segmentation on opens and clicks. Yes, you can. Whoopee. But you really need more behaviors than that. What did they open and click on? Right? How often did they open and click? Do you have any kind of data in the list so that you could begin to segment them? Are you sending them winter clothes, and you need to know, are they in the winter or are they in the summer? Because you don't want to send winter clothes to Australia when right now they're in the beginning, they're in the middle of summer down there. They really don't care about winter clothes. So it's different things like that 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 impact segmentation and personalization and dynamic content. What are your thoughts? What are your findings? What are your
if,
what are the things
if
that keep you up at night?
actually the same thing, that if I'm looking like our clients or with whom we are working, so 95% of them are actually those what you said in the beginning, that I will send everybody who is in my list, and maybe you will purchase or maybe you will not purchase. Okay, we have done uh, for a couple of clients, or they were ready to do it. It was a bookstore,
Mm-hmm.
and then they tracked, let's say, by the logic that they will what they buy: science fiction, crime, horror, gardening, cookbooks, house improvement, whatever. They came up with 70 different segments,
Mm-hmm.
and they started doing it. Yeah, the profit went up like 5, 6, 7 times, but then they they saw that, okay, and that actually there was like extremely small micro segments. I don't know, 50 people
Mm-hmm.
who bring like most of the money, and then they thought that, okay, because it was like 4 or 5 years ago, then this dynamic content and AI based thing were not so cool like they are now. And then it's gonna take huge amount of time to build up the logic that, yeah, okay, you can do the one long email with if then and show those blocks. But they did it like a year, and then they thought that, ah, let's go with, we will send everyone and everybody can pick what they like.
Mm-hmm.
So, but from the other hand, we are doing now this, let's say, one-to-one personalization also. Looking back, what is your purchase history, taking notes what season is,
Mm-hmm.
and looking what type of people you are, comparing with the similar target groups, and then it's gonna be like, you will have your email with your products, I will with mine, and all the others got their
Mm-hmm.
products, etc.,
Right,
etc.
right, right.
So yeah, it's going a little bit, but as we talked before, that people don't know how to use that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A
they
lot of the
don't have
tools are
they
pretty
don't have they
sophisticated.
don't have time, they don't have knowledge, and the most thing is they don't have data.
Mm-hmm. So the other thing is that if you're going to use all these tools, and even still, if you're going to want to use segmentation, you really need to have the strategy in place. So you need to say, okay, what we're going to do is we've got 10 emails a month, and two of those emails are going to be specific segments. And then we're going to do two other emails. You've got to mix it up a little bit, because
Hmm.
just because they bought a do it yourself book doesn't mean that they're building a house. It may mean, they were, refurnishing their bedroom or whatever. And people just don't continuously, redo things. They may
Exactly.
be, they may have bought one do-it-yourself book, but they're not necessarily interested in 15 others. And the same goes along the line. Now, science fiction readers, on the other hand, yes, if they read science fiction, the probability is they want to see all the other science fiction books. Yes.
Hmm.
But again, you can't take that for granted. So if you just say, oh, they're only going to get science fiction books forever, you're never upselling them. You're never getting the opportunity to show them anything else. So you've really got to think to yourself, what am I going to do? Mix it up a little bit. It's not, well, I I'll get on the term of A/B testing and I'll go off on a rant. I'll try not to
Mm-hmm.
rant on it. Email should have a healthy dose of A/B testing in the strategy. So this campaign, this strategy, we're going to see if this works. You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to have 15 versions of it, just because you'll never roll it out. Just say, we're gonna do this segmentation. It's going to be an A/B test. We're going to have these very segmented campaigns go out to specific people. We're going to see
Mm-hmm.
what works. How long does it work? What time does it work? We're going to try a few different things. That's your A/B test. You don't have to necessarily have one email with, like I said, a few different versions and cram it down people's throats. Because the problem is the variant impressions that you're going to get on it. Well, they didn't open it because they're not interested in sci-fi. That's why. And you didn't think of that when you were putting the campaign together. It's not that they're not interested in, whatever it is that you're doing or the purpose, what you think the goal is. They don't understand that goal. You missed the mark. So you're thinking, here's the impression. This is, this didn't work or this did work, but it's a variant impression. It's like
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere. Have they not even been opening any of your emails? Have 15 people been engaging and you're only getting the impressions of 15 people that care and you're sending it to 5,000? And you're
Yeah.
trying to move the needle for the other group, and the point is they're not engaged. Period. So that's my rant about A/B testing.
Yeah, but the idea is, or as I said, that very small amount of are doing it. It's, let's say, in this region. But the other hand is, all right, I so want to do it. We had one retail company, the furniture, and then it was like, all right, but actually, how am I gonna do it if they buy now the sofa or the king size bed? I won't sell them. Okay, I'm looking their purchase history. All right, they bought the sofa and the bed, and what I'm gonna offer after 6 months the new bed? No way.
Right. No.
So you have to do the logic. All right, they bought the sofa. Now I sell them the chairs. Now they bought bed. I will sell them the linings,
Right.
pillows,
Exactly.
etc., etc. But this is, as you said, that you have to build up a clear strategy.
Right.
How
Exactly.
it's gonna be the cross sell, how it's gonna be the upsell, how it's gonna be the, I don't know, come back and buy this one. So this is, I'm seeing that it's very small amount clients are ready to do.
Right. It's almost painful because it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen instantaneously. Right. While the company may want to see immediately, the return, what you're actually doing is you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're nurturing the customer. You're nurturing them. You're trying to develop a long-term relationship by not jamming it down their throat and going for the logical things. If they bought a sofa, maybe they want the ottoman, but don't hit them instantaneously and then hit them over the head with it.
Mm-hmm.
If they bought the sofa, hit them with the ottoman, and then maybe next month hit them with the chairs. They bought the bed, then the next month, the pillowcases, all of those things, things for the bedroom, other things. But you've got to be able to plan it out, and the marketing office, the CMO, the C-suite needs to buy into it because it's a 6 month to a year project. If you're send it out, it's January and you've got this great idea and you start sending it out. Oh no, scrap it. All right, you haven't done half of it. How could you scrap it? You haven't even done it yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult. It's a hard buy-in. It's a hard buy-in.
And
So, that's why sometimes you want to be doing this strategy alongside, spray and pay strategy, where like everybody gets everything, but along this line we're doing this. This is
mm-hmm.
the personalized, customized. leg of our project, of our, the bigger project.
And the second thing, what I'm seeing that people are starting rely too much on the platforms.
Yeah.
You said before we talk this Einstein.
Yes.
Klaviyo has like pre-built huge amount of automations and also some AI-based customized content.
Mm-hmm.
And there is like, all right, there are already pre-built flows. I will turn on this and this and this, and then where is my money?
Yes.
But if you don't put there your ideas, you don't put there your business logic, it's not gonna work.
Right. Also, your voice, your colors. It has to be. It has to be you. It has to be, because that's why they signed up in the first place. They went to your website, they saw your stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
that you had a webinar and you talked about it, whatever it was that is causing them to give you their email address. And now you need to follow through on that relationship. You can't suddenly turn on another personality and be all about, it's all about me, buy, 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 or, just
Mm-hmm.
buy my stuff. It can't possibly be that. And it's, there's a lot of the different ESPs will do different things. So somebody will come to me and say, oh, I'm in Active Campaign, and they're, let's say they're a commerce store, so it's direct to consumer. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not really your platform. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying you're not using it for what it's worth. That's a sales platform that's meant to funnel people through and to identify good, solid people to connect with. So by the time the
Mm-hmm.
funnel's over with, you've got hot clients that you can call up and you could seal the deal. I'm not saying that Active Campaign is not a commerce tool. I'm merely saying Klaviyo is. Active Campaign is not, and that's the difference. Somebody were to come to me and say, "Oh, my salespeople really want an email marketing tool, and we're going to go with Klaviyo." No, and really, there's so many tools out there,
Mm-hmm.
so many tools, and with Mailchimp is changing. When Intuit purchased it, they decided we're gonna, Mailchimp's gonna grow up. It's no longer that tool. We want it to be sophisticated, and they're honestly competing. Klaviyo, I think, was the reason they had to do that, because Klaviyo presented the world with an inexpensive tool for direct to consumer, and everybody was like, "Oh, this is a great tool," and Mailchimp can't do that, and Mailchimp's going, "Oh no," and Intuit's competing, and I get it. I've had Mailchimp forever. I have.
Yeah, but if you are thinking now, let's say the idea or how the Mailchimp got so big, their freemium package for the small companies. You don't have to be like e-commerce, just bloggers, whatever, influencer, etc., small companies. And now, when they cut their logic down to 500 contacts, and the sending limit is absolutely nothing, and so those,
They just cut out. They just cut out the small business market.
yeah,
It's obvious that's what they're saying we don't want you anymore.
yeah,
But
but there
that's
is,
okay, because companies like Drip, Mailgun, all these smaller companies can take that market space, and that's the
yeah,
way. That it's sad, but that's
that's the business.
the business. That's the way it should be. And when Constant Contact, which is, I can, when I say it, I almost want to wash my mouth out with soap. But when Constant Contact purchased Sharp Spring, I was like, that's the smartest thing they could have ever done. And I was like, my whole attitude towards Constant Contact changed, because I like Sharp Spring. It's an inexpensive answer to Salesforce Marketing Cloud because
Okay.
it has the CRM for sales and the marketing for email, and it integrates the two so that a customer on the CRM side will automatically travel over,
Mm.
right? And
You
that
know this. You know this Estonian-based Salesforce competitor,
no, tell me,
Pipedrive.
Pipe Drive.
Yeah.
There's so much business coming out of the Ukraine, Estonia. There's so much going
Yeah,
on.
but they are actually,
I'm writing
you
Pipe
know that Pipedrive, yeah.
Drive.
But you know Skype, yeah,
Yes.
and you know that Skype is built in Estonia.
No.
Yeah, before the Microsoft bought it, it was Estonian company.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of business, a lot of things going on. People are somewhat
So the Pipedrive, they wanted actually be the same as the Salesforce. So probably they have also most of their clients from the States and from Canada, because here they are only keeping some small. They bought the biggest Lithuanian ESP called Mileagen,
okay.
and integrated it exactly like the uh, Salesforce did it with what it was.
Exact
Exact
target.
target. Yeah.
See, I mean, these are the things that there's so many ESPs out there, so many, and email marketing is alive and kicking and very profitable on all ends. Marketing end, on software end, on
But how this that I probably hear it every year that email marketing is dead, and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and everything what's coming up, they will take all this market share what email marketing has. So I don't think so.
No, but I will say, and it's not now. I will say there will come a time when it will die, but it's not dead. In other words, if you were to say direct marketing, it's not dead, but certainly direct marketing. If a company were to say, "Oh, we only do direct marketing," you'd be like, "Oh, well, good luck with that." So
But if you're doing this direct marketing like in clever way, but if I'm
they have to do
remembering,
social. You have to do social. My
do you
neighbor
think that?
forever.
But if I'm sending you like some very fancy stuff with your like direct marketing with the classical meaning, you will get your mailbox, not email box, but the other mailbox, some extra fancy thing that will you will open it. It's gonna be like whoa.
Yes, no, I agree with you. I get catalogs, and they do that to me. They do that to me. I'll open a catalog and go, "Oh, this is cool," and I'll go right to my computer, and then I'll sign up for email.
All right, good point.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to say is that you have to be multi-channel, and email marketing sort of everybody forgets that marketing has channels. So they have all these. Oh, you do social and you do email marketing and you do direct and you do print and no, they're all marketing. It's all
Yeah.
marketing. It's different channels, and they really do need to work together. So, and they rarely do. But in any case, a company has to have multi-channel. So I don't
Mm.
have a problem with direct marketing, but you have to have a social presence. And I was about to say, my neighbor has a company, and forever, ever, ever, I always try to sell. I don't try to sell everybody what I do, but what do you do, Joy? Well, this is what I do, and you should be doing email marketing. So I always told my neighbor, you should be doing email marketing, or at the very least, you should have a website. Oh, what do we need a website for? We don't need it. We have customers. All right, now I let it go. Well, as soon as the son graduated, the first thing that he did was he did a website.
Mm.
And I was like, well, they find It was the old traditional, the old school saying we don't need this because their mind is, we have salesmen and that's how we get business. You
Okay.
can't just use sales as a channel to sell. You need direct marketing, you need sales, you need social, you need the website, you need the email. And I'm not saying for all businesses you need them all. For businesses, you need combinations of them all. And
Hmm.
some are lead the others, and others, whatever it is. But email marketing, will it ever die? No, no, because mail hasn't died yet. But I don't know about you. I don't get any bills in the mail. Not a bill in the mail. Not
No
one.
bill, no bills in the mail. Yeah,
No
you're
bills
right.
in the mail. So
The
that's what I'm.
catalogs, and if the government's sending some
Yes.
information, and sometimes the bank's also sending something,
Right. Right.
but actually nothing more.
Nothing more. So it's not completely dead. And here in the States, the postal service figured that they have to start shipping boxes and get in line with that. So they're doing all sorts of deals to ship boxes because that's where it's not dead. So
Mm.
shipping consumer goods is where it's not dead, but the old concept of mail is dead. So will this happen to email marketing? Some point, possibly. How, when? It's not in the next 10 years, possibly in 20, because you have to think to yourself, all of the people that I would say people who are in their late 30s on might prefer email to others. But as soon as you hit that 30 and younger, not so much.
If you're looking all those numbers, what everybody talking about, the figures in email marketing, or figures in email, the and the prediction that the next year it's gonna be like billion something more, and then it's gonna be billion something more and more. And the last thing, when we talked some presentation, also we looked all those numbers. Actually, if you're thinking that it was like more than 50% of people, the first thing in the morning you're opening your phone and you're not looking some social media, but you're looking your mailbox
Mm-hmm.
and looking, all right, what I got, that who wrote me something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and if you're thinking 25, you said 30, but I'm saying 25 plus. And if we're thinking the span 25 plus, 35 plus, 45 plus, so it's going to be more 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The communication logic has to change drastically
Mm-hmm.
to to to, to happening something other.
It's almost the technology would have to change because what's stopping, um, I think, what's why some people prefer looking at other apps than email is because of its interactive ability. So, it being an inbox, it has rules, and those rules are, at least for the computer, not to be able to do stuff that will start downloading all sorts of things into your inbox and onto your computer. Like you can download a PDF, you could download an Excel spreadsheet, but you can't execute a program.
Yeah, okay, but if you are thinking about this all interactive things on email,
Right.
so this AMP script, okay, this is working only if you are like certified ESP and you have uh, contract with Google, da, 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 da. But there is actually those options that you can add to shopping cart directly from the email, and you can see the carousels. Okay, you can do the with your GIF also the carousel, but and most of programs there don't play video, only the iPhone. So but this AMP thing, I probably heard this also like 3 years already, but I don't see that it is like whoa, or I'm probably, from my professional interest, I'm subscribed a huge amount of different emails, everybody, the Disney, etc., etc. But I don't see any extremely fancy interactive stuff.
No, because I think it ends up the lowest common denominator, right? And it makes it easier for them instead of going, well, we're going to do this and we're going to send it out to these people and we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to use AMP script and send it out to these people. They're like, let's just do one campaign and send it out to everybody and we'll move on to the next one. But along the lines of what you said, when we move, let's say it happens at some point in time that the home computer, um, becomes less, and the smaller device or some other portable device becomes more, so that everybody's using a portable device. That's when email may shift into some sort of a different app type, where it's push, and they can actually, and this is what's competing with email, is if you've got if a store has an app, then you
Yeah,
go to
but then
the
you
app.
have like the million apps.
I know. And this is, this has all got to work its way out. It's all got to work its way out. But some people have some amount of loyalty to their brands, so they'll have 15 apps on their phone, and that's where they shop. Right. A lot of people. I don't have social on my phone because if I walk out of this house and I'm taking my phone, I don't want it to be going off and do this, do that, social, Facebook. I'm just like, I'm out of the house. I'm free.
Okay.
I'm not doing any of these things. I'm actually going to interact with nature and people. Congratulations. But a lot of other people aren't like that, and they do
Yeah,
have
me too.
they do have their apps on their phone, and they do interact with their apps. You see it all the time. You go to the store and they're in the corner and they're doing this, and you're like, what are they doing? Aren't they food shopping? What the heck are they doing? Because they just remembered they needed to do something, and they're doing it. And you bring your car in, and they're sitting in the corner. I've got my book, and they're on their app. They're on their phone. What are they doing? They're reading news. They're gaming. They're doing something. They're on their apps. So, the technology isn't stopping. Email will need to not necessarily compete, but it's going to metamorphosize. It will grow into something that right now it isn't. So Microsoft and Outlook held email in a particular place for a long time,
Yeah,
and we
but it's
weren't able
probably
to. What's that?
probably their HTML rendering is anyway still in the
But they held us
in
captive.
the engine of the Word.
Yeah, they held us captive. Oh, we can't do that because it's the Word doc model holds it, and you can't do it that way. You have to do it this way. So they held us, and as businesses started shifting over to Gmail and the G Suite, we're like, ha, Outlook. And Outlook then needed to come to us and say, oh, wait, we're going to do this for you guys. Yeah, thank you very much, Microsoft. We appreciate your help, finally, because now you've got a competitor. And that's when it changes. That's when it changes. So, Gmail brought it out, and Gmail continues to. And when you mention AmpScript, AMP, one of the reasons why I think it will never go is because Apple competes with it directly, because Apple wants the same information that AMP is digging. And the only reason Google has AMP out there is so that it can data mine, and then it becomes Google's property.
But
And
if
Apple does not like that.
so, what I wanted, I'm always looking, or I always seeing in LinkedIn, and if I'm reading the news about email marketing. So, if I'm taking here Europe or the Nordic countries and the Baltics, so and if I'm looking as the statistics of our clients, so the iOS percent is actually super small.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, 5% of all. There 60 will be Gmail, and then are all those
Hmm.
Outlook, Hotmail, whatever, da 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 da,
Hmm.
and some small ones. How it's in States? Is there the Apple Mail and iOS based mails are more popular?
I don't think so. I think Gmail's very popular, but
Okay.
Apple's waning. It's waning, but it, it's it's a device. The point is, it's a phone aside from the
Yeah.
operating
Okay.
system.
Exactly. Yeah, you
And
can have the Gmail
right,
in
they have Gmail, but they've got an Apple phone. And
exactly, and then anyway, this iOS will kill all these fa things.
exactly. So their privacy, they're shutting down that pixel so that you get no information is
Yeah.
basically telling AMP you're not getting that information.
Hmm.
It's not yours. And I'm neither on anyone's side, although I do have an Android. I do.
Me too.
I have an Android, and I won't get an Apple. But data. We're marketers. We live on data.
Mm.
Um, somewhat anonymous data, somewhat, because we don't really know all the people in the lists in the ESP, and we don't know. I mean, we know where they live, but we're not going there. We're not collecting it. We don't have a data sheet that says, Bob lives here. His favorite color is this. He just divorced his wife. We don't have all this information like that. It's very anonymous. And we're like, okay, we're going to send an email out to everybody who likes blue, and Bob gets it. We don't know.
Hmm.
We're not obsessed over Bob. So the data privacy, I do understand it at many levels, and I do say that you have to be aware of it. And we'll segue right into AI by this discussion, because it's getting collected, and it's not so much the email marketers that you need to be afraid of. It's perhaps the inboxes like Gmail, like Verizon, like all of those other tools that also are getting that information, and they have government contracts.
Hmm.
So, the data breaches are not, yes, I'm not saying a data breach is nothing, but the fact that Verizon has this information, and that Verizon has, government contracts, and we don't know what happens, what they're doing underneath. And so Bob may divorce, and he liked the color blue, and he lives here, and he has this kind of phone, and he belongs to these organizations, and they're matching data up, and now it's merging. Now the government knows everything Bob's doing, and the government wants to
Hmm.
know. Email marketing doesn't care. So I get that. And that brings us into, and I don't want to jump into AI, but we're gonna. So everybody's all about AI, Chat GPT, 3, 4. Everybody's just so excited. It's been around for a while. It's been in the back end, like Einstein, like Klaviyo, predictive analysis. It's been there all along. It's been driving a lot of things. But now it's beginning to drive content. It's beginning to drive design. It's beginning to drive engineering and coding. And in other words, it's maturing. And what's happening is it's becoming normalized into our lives. All of us are now talking about it, not just marketing people, not just predictive analysis people, but everybody's talking about, school teachers.
And
My students are going to use this, and how am I going to be able to tell that they actually did the paper themselves and they didn't have, yeah, there are some issues going on here, big issues. And also what it tells you. Who is telling it to tell you this? I had a whole
Yep.
argument. I went down the rabbit hole one night because I had nothing else better to do, and I wanted to see what Chat GPT would say. And I had a whole conversation, and obviously I couldn't blow it up like they would in Star Trek, where it'd say, "It is not compute, does not compute," boom, it doesn't blow up. I wanted to blow it up, and I got it in my mind. I got it to blow up because it started the conversation here and it ended it here, and these two things contradicted each other.
Okay.
And I was like, yes. So you really do need to be careful of what it's saying, because it's being told. All you need to do is give it a trigger term, and it's being told, "Oh, this is how you answer. This is politically correct. This is how you answer it." And then if you go around the back end, it gives you a totally different answer because you didn't use those trigger terms. Those
Okay.
buzzwords, those.
But is it gonna be like, hey Skynet, will take over?
Is it? Could it? Potentially. Potentially. Just like, when COVID hit us, I was like, "Hello, Resident Evil." Right? And nobody wants to talk about it, but hello, Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be, yes, it could be Skynet. Yes, because if people stop thinking, right now Google is there. Google, tell me all about this, and it'll tell you all about it, but you'll have to do the work. It'll give you 150 links, and you'll have to go to 150 places, and you'll have to do the work. Now you go to Chat GPT, like, tell me about this, and it comes out with 5 paragraphs, and you're done.
Yeah. So this is
and this is not good.
I read it somewhere that the AI will reach the singularity probably like during the 3 or 5 years
Yes.
already.
Yes. Well, that's what Elon Musk will warn you, and he's as excited about it as he's warning you. And I think he agrees. Singular. We're right. We're barreling ahead for the singularity.
So, but if you're looking at it from the marketing or email marketing or whatever marketing side,
Right.
so actually I'm also like tried some things. It gives you huge amount of time. So otherwise you have to write your article, do the summary, think the points, da 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 da. Now I will just take my own blog posts, like 5 or 6 of them, copying them there and saying that, all right, pick from here those pinpoints, give me the summary, execution, etc. And it take like 3 or 5 minutes, and I will get so written blog post or
Right.
small article, LinkedIn
Right.
post or whatever. So, but from the other hand, if you are thinking, if you don't do it, and if you don't add your personality there, then absolutely all those posts gonna be like
Android.
the same.
Yeah. It really, it's a resource tool. So, like you said, you have 5 blog posts that you've written in the past. You feed it in. You're like, give me another promotional blog post on the concept of this using this information. And it does it for you. And then you get it back and you read it, and there are 5 paragraphs, and 4 paragraphs are great. 1 stinks. You don't like these words. You move it around. You move the paragraphs around. You're like, oh, I can't come up with this with a header. Give me a header for this. This, and it comes back with a header. And you're like, oh wait, that's great. I'll put that in there. I don't use it. You're using it to brainstorm. Now you're working with. Now you're using it as a tool, and it's not necessary. You're being creative with the tool, so it's a resource, but it can also become a taskmaster, whereby you don't know anything, you ask it, and now you believe it.
Yeah, but
you have to do that. You have to do the work.
But this is as you said that there is this warning, actually, that if you are actually not very bright student, write me an essay on this or about spring, and write me a poetry about love and thunder. So, and he will give you like, and you are going to school, but your capacity of understand anything or learn anything, like,
Right. You had better be smart enough to say, write me an article about love on the third grade level using small words.
yeah, probably he can do it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you'd have to be that smart.
Yeah,
And the
okay.
thing, and the truth is, it could be a learning tool if you, like I said, if you apply yourself to it, and if instead of going to the library and taking out 15 books and trying to find the section that applies to what you're what you're looking for, you got to open the book, go to the index, read it. What you're doing is you're saying, tell me, give me 5 points on this topic, and it comes back with 5 points. Now, what I've done is,
Yeah, but if you are reading those 15 books,
well, of course, what you're doing for yourself, as opposed to giving
yeah,
5 points
and
and
you will get more wide
yeah,
look to the subject,
yeah.
because now you only know those 5 points and nothing more.
That's
But
the point. That is the point. I mean, why are you cheating yourself? I've right now what you have to. Everybody has to understand that it only knows. It's only been fed, I think, something like 2 or 3 years ago. So it's not up to date. So if you were to say, give me 5 resources on this from the internet, it will come up with 5 resources and none of them exist anymore.
yeah, it was, the information is up to date till 21 or
Right,
something like
right.
this.
So, all the articles that it's sourcing have been pulled down. And I've done that a few times. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. It knows, but I can't find those articles. And even when I say, find something current, 2023, it can't. It comes back and says, I have not been programmed. I'm like, okay, it will though. So it's a resource. People might say, oh, that Google, that destroyed everybody, made things so easy. Well, everybody Googles. If you're sitting down
Yeah.
at the table and somebody says, that movie with that actress, and you're like, what movie? What actress? Oh, the one with the hair. Yeah, all right, that's great. What color? The brown hair. All right, brown hair actress movie. Wait, let me see. And you Google it up. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I saw that movie, because nobody can think, nobody can remember, but they can apply it to Google and they can come up with it pretty damn fast.
Hmm.
That's what Chat GPT-3 is going to be, 4 or 5. That's what it's going to be doing, because
Yeah,
you can
they.
talk with it. I mean, often a lot of people will Google, but and I won't mention her name because 5 things will go off in my house. But Alexa, I come into the house and I don't look at the clock anymore. I just walk into the house and I say, Alexa, what time is it? And she tells me.
Yeah, but if they they take over, and he will lie to you.
Yeah.
So the
And
the
Alexa,
Microsoft.
I said that word. And Alexa's getting smarter and smarter also. They want you to feed into her, because she'll come back and go, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't give you that information. But soon she'll be telling you.
Okay, so because the chat GPT is like, it's closed system, it's not gonna search from the internet. This Microsoft integrated to their Bing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try it, and there was like
Oh, you're
video
saying that Chat
games and
GPT is behind Bing? So their search is now.
yeah, it's connected with all. You can like, and he pulls up all the information from this moment from the internet. So not like this OpenAI, what you are using,
Right,
that I am
right,
using.
right. But similar. Well, again, Google realizes that ChatGPT is like their direct competitor.
Yeah, they already told about they have this project Bard.
Right, right. It has to. So as everything will that's Skynet. When everything gets to a point where it's all connected to the same thing in the back end, that's Skynet.
Yeah.
That's Skynet. And that's when, at some point in time, Skynet decides, you know what, humans are not good creatures. Look at all the stuff
Scary.
they're asking. They're not good creatures.
A little bit scary.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary. And, especially if when it reaches that singularity, it needs to be able, iRobot, it needs to be able to have that shut off where it says you can't do anything bad to humans. That is one of your prime directives. You cannot do bad things to humans.
Yeah, Isaac Asimov's three rules of
Right.
robotics.
Right. One of all science fiction has, and that's one of your other talking points. Science fiction has proven itself practically all the way down the line.
Yeah, if you're thinking Arthur C. Clarke, what he wrote like in the 60s. So mostly of them, everything is like, wow, he said that
Mm-hmm.
50 years ago
Mm-hmm.
that this is going to be happening.
Mm-hmm. Even worse, Soylent Green.
Yeah.
1984, all those things. You sit down, you go, okay, Big Brother is definitely watching, and it
Hmm.
doesn't matter what country you're in. Big Brother is watching. It's just, are they able to do it legally, or they have to do it, underneath and pretend? It doesn't matter. They're doing it whichever way they're doing it. It's
Yeah, and this is like you were talking like some brand names, and you're holding your phone, and after like 30 minutes, you're gonna see in Facebook,
exactly,
ooh, those
exactly.
those advertising about this what I talked just like half an hour ago. Ooh, it's scary.
It's scary. It really is scary, and it's as exciting as it is scary.
Hmm.
And my only, when people talk about AI and they're all excited about it and it's going to revolutionize everything, I'm like, absolutely. There's going to be a lot of jobs that are going to be gone, but there were a lot, there are a lot of jobs now that never were before, and those jobs before are gone. I
Hmm.
mean, generally speaking, um, crops are not picked by humans in the United States, they're picked by machines, right? Cars, generally speaking, there are people in the plants, but they're basically assembled by robots.
Of course.
Right, where Ford used to have this line where people put this and then they did this and then they did that, and everybody put the car together. There's two robots that do that, and there's an inspector at the end going, okay, ping, okay, out next. So it
But if you're thinking like in the perspective of the future, so we already talked that maybe this email marketing during, I don't know, 10 or 20 years will be change something else. But I don't think it's gonna be like this, that the marketing people in whatever company, bookstore, retail chain, goes to the computer, switching on the microphone and tells that send an email to those guys today that has blah 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 green hairs about what we talked with you. So I don't think it's gonna be in this type
no, it won't be in that type, but um, we'll have. Uh, will we have identified privacy, data privacy? So if the data, assuming the data is available, you'll be able to um, really create very good, solid segments, send people really what they want, be able to do it pretty quickly, it will look nice, and everybody will be happy.
And
In a perfect world.
from the other hand, if let's say the AI, he can design, but all those pictures look the same, and he
It's
can
only
write.
input in, input out. So again, only as good as the input you put in.
So and the text is also like the same. And if you are using it in the perspective of email marketing, generate me the images for my head banner, write me the text, and give me some cool CTA text. And then it's going to be like, all right, everybody thinks, wow, how cool. I don't have to
Right.
think myself to write those
But
texts.
but
I
20
don't.
companies
And
send out the same email at the same time.
yeah, and this is, I wanted to say that then it's going to be like all the emails will look the same, and the tone and the manner in the text also will be look the same.
Exactly. And we hope that won't happen. We really hope that won't happen. Now,
This is
creativity
some
can't,
kind of
people said that Kindle and Nook will kill the publishing industry. Yeah, it did. It did. But it didn't kill books,
yeah.
right? So what happened? Audible books. Oh, whole new market. Audible books. And not only Audible books, but it's such a great market that Spotify is coming out with an Audible book section of their business. So there are new and beautiful things that can happen. So
But
I would
but
hope that it would help email marketing people, as I said, with better data and better tools, so that they can literally, instead of spending 9 months trying to make segments and get content,
mm,
they literally can come up with a plan that says, I'm going to have 15 segments. They're good segments. They're solid segments. And I'm going to be able to mix and match my content as I see fit with great images. Yo, you content writers, yo, you design department, go out and do it. Come back with the stuff. They could be sitting at their desk and they could be using AI to help them. They could say, AI, come up with an illustration that has this, that, oh, that's great. But I'm going to color it and I'm going to do all these things to it. So, meow. What's the name? It's difficult when you have
dream,
what?
dream, dream,
Dream? It's
dream.
difficult when you have a lot of cats, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't remember. But in Estonian, the dream is the fancy name on the documents, but I call it nipsu.
Oh.
Nipsu. So
So I think that business will, yes, business will change. Yes, it will take some jobs out. You won't need 15 content writers, maybe 2, right? So
today was actually a good question in LinkedIn. There was like again this is it good, is it bad, is it good, is it bad, will take it your work. And one guy said that, yeah, if you're asking from him that write me a strategic plan how to use CRM, I don't remember on what logic, and then put the executive plan with the tactics.
mhm.
When he can do this, then it's gonna be like, all right,
Right. Well,
probably
that's
I lost my job.
yes.
And I tried actually right away after this, I read it and write me, and those was so lame or so empty definition words, just as CRM marketing with email will increase your da da da
Right,
da
right.
da 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 da.
I did something similar because somebody said to me, "Oh, it writes code." I'm like, "Okay, genius, it writes code." So I spent the evening with it. Write me a Python script to connect to SendGrid's API, and I want you to pull. I gave it all the criteria. None
Mhm.
of it worked. there was always something that it came out with an error each time. And I kept on feeding it back. Only one time was I able to say, okay, here's the error, fix it. And it did. The point being is, after it came back with the code, I need to be the Python programmer to say, well, this is not going to work, and here's why. And fix it. So yes, it would do the initial part of my job, so I wouldn't have to spend so much time doing that, and then I could fix it, and then I can run it. But the truth is, if you're an ace Python programmer, you've got libraries and libraries and libraries, and you're just going to pull out the library, change the source code here, change this here, and it runs. You've done this. You don't need a for loop. You have 15 for loops. You don't need, if when. You do this in your head. This is how you think. So the Python programmer, it's not going to replace the Python program. It's going to replace Junior, who thinks he's a Python programmer. I went to it and I said, give me email, HTML, and with a CTA. And give me some promotional content. So it did. It gave me empty CSS. So it says, put your CSS here. I was like, oh, great. I guess I'll have to write that. And then, it gave me hello world and then the button. That's it.
Yeah, I tried actually the same, and it was also the...
Right. So it's not going to replace me. I'm still going to have to build that out because they're going to come back. The customer's going to come back and go, oh, can we do this? And how about this? And what about this? It can't keep up with that. You can't keep up with putting that in and go, oh, what about this? And put this and do this. Just do it. And again, I'm an HTML programmer, so I have libraries of 2 up, 3 up, a blue button, a red button, a green button, whatever. Exactly. I have all these libraries. That's what I do for a living. So it's not the crackerjack HTML or the Python programmer that are going to be replaced. It's Junior that's going to. And right now they have all these drag and drops anyway. Why would you write HTML code? For a website, yes, but not for an email. You just go to a drag and drop.
But probably you can come up with this type of fancy thing, what you want, what drag and drop can't do. Yes.
But, again, if you need to have the concept in your mind. So if you're thinking stacked, then it's going to give you stacked. It's going to come back with something very plain with this here and this there and this here and this here and this here and this here. And it's just plain. But if you come back and say, oh, I want, 4 columns and in this column and then that, well,
yeah, and river stacked then and then it's not stacked at all.
Right. If you have this whole conversation, you may as well just hire an HTML program. You're sitting there having this whole conversation, and you don't know if it's going to work.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, you can't fix it.
Yeah, because you don't know how it has to work.
Right. So so what's the point? You have your developer on staff, and you go to the developer and say, "Here's how here's a PSD file. Make it happen. Thank you very much. When you're ready, let me know." It's due on Friday. Bye. And you go off. And, so I do think that for many things that we think it's going to replace, it's not. But when, it's the singularity. And a lot of people don't, they don't conceive of the singularity. They don't understand the singularity. And that singularity is when it reaches consciousness and when it knows that it's thinking.
Yeah.
And then it can say, oh, you know what? I know that I'm thinking and I'm thinking too much and I'm depressed. That's the point of no return. And you're depressing me and you're a human and you're evil. And there you go. The end. Skynet. So I'm just, it will get to that point. And that's what we need to realize. If ethics have not been built into it, that big privacy law in the sky, if that has not been built into it, if it moves faster than we can, and it is, It's moving faster than we
Hmm.
can control. It's barreling towards the singularity. What was it? Was it Google that had to turn off their robot?
Yeah.
Now I don't, I don't know. I didn't read the news too much because it scared me to death. But what I heard was it had to turn it off because it was damn close to singularity. And at that point,
Yeah.
they wouldn't be
Probably
able to turn it off because they would turn it off and
next
would go, "No, you can't turn me off. I don't want to die." You know.
next time I will ask, can you do the Turing test?
Yeah, exactly. That's that goes back to iRobot where he's like, he when they're putting the nano robots in the movie, not the book. When they put beginning to put the nano robots in, and he's like, "Will it hurt?" He's asking all those questions. You're like, he's not dying. No, he's not going anywhere. He's coming back. Oh God! Now that we've scared the audience to death. In any case, you know what? We talked about
Probably. I
email.
hope not.
We talked about email, but boy, we went off onto every single tangent you could possibly go onto, and it was fun. I want to watch,
Yeah, but we probably covered all the things what we wanted to cover
and then some.
connected with the email.
Yes, we did. Absolutely. Is there anything that you want to leave my audience with about yourself?
All right. Actually, I don't know if the audience will see our names here as it's written.
Smelly.
Yeah, Smelly.
Tell us a little bit about it.
We are not smelly,
Not smelly, not snaily, but smelly.
smelly. Yeah.
My New York accent.
Actually,
Sorry.
yeah, the ones I wrote it like snaily. And the idea was that the slowest ESP in the world, snaily. Great headline.
Great
Don't you think?
headline.
So actually, we are trying to fill the gap what Mailchimp did.
Mm-hmm.
So we are small, really small. ESP, we have about 20,000 clients sending some couple of billions emails through us per year, and we are thinking we are doing fine, and we are trying to beat this type of ESP, what is like agency and ESP together, that if the client comes, we can teach you the concept, the strategy, we will help you, and you will get all the help from us, from real people, not
Not
digging
robots.
videos, forums,
Right.
and not some fancy chatbots that will think that maybe you want answer now to this question.
Yes. So that's very interesting. So it's Smelly, SM, M as in Mary, AILY.com.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Everybody should look them up. That's your homework, everybody. Thanks so much, Tanel. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful. I could talk
And
forever.
thank you that you invited me. Actually, it was absolutely cool.
Good. Great. Maybe we'll do this again.
Yeah, after 5 years, and then we look. Is it was like we talked with you,
Oh.
or then
Did this happen?
did this happen? Yeah.
Trends from the past. Looking back. Very good. All right, everybody. It's been great. Friday over and out. Take care, Tanel.
Thank you.